These are some blocks. Yeah. Do you remember those? Yeah. Something that little children play with. For all the time we spend on managing our money, yeah. There's a big question about those on Social Security that don't have any money. Could you give me all of them that have claimed the survivor's benefit of being the individual that receives the $255 because of the death of somebody? Yes. I'd just like to have the death certificates, and I'd like to know of every individual on Social Security. Yes. How many of you received that $255 because you were the spouse or the next of kin of the deceased? See, billionaires, right? They ask each other, well, why don't you give me half your wealth? Yes. And we will end poverty throughout the world. Yeah. We will end all known diseases, right? Everybody will have enough to eat, and we will provide shelter and clean water for everybody. Yeah. And of course, they advertise, excuse me. They advertised it. I mean, I was reading about it. Now, from what happened to what has happened over the last 10 years, yes. Somebody decided to virtualize the population, yes. Somebody decided to sew in because sewing technology was non existent approximately 15 years ago, yes. Somebody decided to go, oh, what a way, yeah. Now, my thought was, well, of all those individuals on Social Security that have died in the last 25 years, yeah, were they all American citizens? As in, they were either natural born American citizens or they were naturalized. I just want their death certificates, and then I wanted to know how many in the family decided that you were going to get some sort of Social Security benefit without being an actual citizen. Now, this is very interesting. Yeah. They have available for those in the State Department, yes, and the U.S. Senate, a federal credit union that is paying really good yields on certificates of deposit. Yeah. Now, I used to work for Thrivent, and I'm really pleased that they're offering 3.25%. Yes. I work for Aid Association for Lutherans, and I find it interesting that the Lutherans, yes, as a certificate of deposit, are offering the greatest yield on a 5-year certificate of deposit. Yeah. Now, having been baptized as an infant as a Lutheran, yes, and confirmed as a Lutheran, yes, and I was employed at Aid Association for Lutherans, yes. If I was still a member of Thrivent because of purchasing one of their products or being a relative of a member of Thrivent, yes, and I could put some money away at 3.25%, the annual yield as of July 17th of 2019. Now, what concerns me is what's known as the State Department Federal Credit Union, yes, and the U.S. Senate Department Federal Credit Union. Could you get me every federal employee of the United States government? Now, I really think, yes, that the employees and their families of the U.S. Senate, yes, should not be getting that much interest on their certificates of deposit. And for any individual in the federal government to be able to belong to a credit union, yes, because of having been an employee of the State Department,